Okay. I'm gonna read this first one here. Here he is. Here, he's from Saskatchewan. It's on the west Canada. All right. I'm gonna read a little bit. So it says, Almighty Voice, 1875 to 1897. That's a short ass life. Almighty Voice was born in 1875 near Duck Lake, Saskatchewan. He grew up on the One Arrow Reserve, where he heard stories of his grandfather, One Arrow, who had resisted taking up his reserve until 1879. On October 22nd, 1895, Almighty Voice was arrested by the Northwest Mounted Police, which is today the RCMP, after being accused of slaughtering a government cow. Now, you brothers understand, there's the Indian Act. Sorry, the Indian Act. All right, which was basically Canada's Indian Removal Act. All right, and it had the different laws for the Gadites. So they would let you have a cow to raise it and to learn about husbandry and how to keep it and farm, but you wouldn't be allowed to kill it to eat it. You see a bunch of damn devils, man. So he was starving, so he had to kill a cow. He was arrested. While he was transferred to the jail at Duck Lake, one of the arresting officers is said to have joked that the penalty for killing a government cow was hanging. Almighty Voice seemed to have taken the joke seriously. He escaped from jail that night and fled to his mother's home on the reserve. It says initial attempts to capture him were not successful. On October 29th, 1895, Northwest Mounted Police Officer Colbert caught up with him near Kinistino, and in the attempted arrest was shot and killed by Almighty Voice. And that's a beautiful thing, man. By April 1897, there was a $500 bounty on Almighty Voice. However, he avoided the authorities until May 1897. On May 27, 1897, it was reported that Almighty Voice and two companions had shot and wounded a local Métis scout near Duck Lake. The Northwest Mounted Police under Inspector Allen came across Almighty Voice at the Minichnas Hills, a few miles from the One Arrow Reserve. There was an exchange of gunfire, and Allen and another officer were seriously wounded. Another force made up of both civilians and Northwest Mounted Police officers attempted to rush the three men, but again they were turned away by gunfire. On May 30th, after heavy gunfire including rounds from a 9-pound field gun, Voice, his brother-in-law Topian, and his cousin Little Saltux were all found dead. Okay, so all these, it says, where does it say? By civilians and Northwest Mounted Police. So these normal crackers, man, normal farmers, normal Edomites, they all had a good time. All right. So this is the second article. This kind of goes more in depth. That's why I want to bring it out. Almighty Voice was a 21-year-old Aboriginal man of noble lineage and was said to possess many admirable qualities. On the eve of his wedding, he slaughtered cow for the imminent wedding feast, as was customary. The issue being that the cow in question did not belong to Almighty Voice, but to the government. Again, going back to the fact that they allowed you to have the cow to farm and keep it and learn husbandry, but you couldn't kill it to eat it. Alright, bunch of damn devils. For this, he was arrested 3 days later on October 22nd, 1895. This would have been the end of it. Almighty Voice would have spent his allotted month in jail and then gone home to his wife and family. This was not to be, however, for a thoughtless comment was to start a snowball effect that would end in tragedy. When Almighty Voice was in the jail, he overheard one of the guards joking about Almighty Voice receiving the death penalty. Unwilling to be subject to unfair punishment, Almighty Voice broke out of his cell and went on the lam. Sergeant H. Keenan of the Duck Lake Police Department decided to make an example of Almighty Voice. Let's lock it down here. Keenan and his men were able to track Almighty Voice down. Almighty Voice warned them that if they came near him, he would shoot. One of Keenan's men, Sergeant Colberg, disregarded this warning, and Almighty Voice shot and killed him. Now, Almighty Voice was wanted for the murder of a sergeant, and he was branded as a convict in the eyes of the government. As a result, a bounty was placed on his head and a $500 reward for information on his whereabouts. On May 26, 1896, there was another confrontation and this time a civilian was injured in an altercation. Yet again, Almighty Voice eluded capture. This was unacceptable to the police department since it was an act of insubordination to Eurocentric rule. The final face-off occurred in a bluff that was specifically chosen by Almighty Voice for its strategic location. It says Almighty Voice knew that he could not run forever and that he was hopelessly outnumbered, even with his two friends by his side. Artillery was fired by both factions and casualties accumulated as the standoff dragged on. Eventually, the encounter evolved into a pseudo-war, with reinforcements being called in on the police side and two cannons engaged. At one point, there were approximately 175 Northwest Mounted Police against Almighty Voice and his friends, impossible odds. Eventually, Almighty Voice's friends fell victim to the constant barrage of gunfire and shelling. Almighty Voice's leg was wounded by shrapnel, but still he soldiered on. Alright? But under the continual volley of artillery, Almighty Voice eventually succumbed. It says the story that he had started with a stolen cow had ended in the senseless deaths of many men. They say that history is written by the victor. To read most of the old newspaper articles, you would see Almighty Voice typecast as an outlaw, disrespectful of law and order, man. Bunch of damn devils, man, hypocrites. Alright, the only deaths that were good is the Edomites dying, you know? Bunch of damn devils, man. Alright? So that's oppression there, man. You prairie niggas out there, man. That you Gadites out there, you prairie niggas, that's what they call you. You know? So there was two articles I want to bring out because this is happening today. Alright, as you see here, this is from cbc.ca, right, which is Canadian news. RCMP, formerly known as Northwest Mounted Police, shooting in Alberta leaves one dead, one injured. Alright. It says one man is dead after an RCMP officer fatally shot him Saturday night near Pigeon Lake's Mameo Beach, about 100 kilometers southwest of Edmonton. And by the way, this is August 4th, 2013, last summer. Alright. Clifton Purvis, head of the Alberta Serious Incident Response Team, said an officer from the Wetaskiwin detachment pulled over 5 men in a vehicle to conduct an impaired driving investigation around 9:30 p.m. local time. It says Purvis said the uniformed officer who was working alone in a marked police car then became involved in an altercation with the 5 men. The RCMP attempted to arrest one individual in relation to the impaired driving investigation, and it is at that point that the confrontation with the other 4 males inside the vehicle, he said. The officer, feeling threatened, then drew his police service weapon and fired several shots. A 30-year-old man was fatally wounded and pronounced dead at the scene. A 41-year-old man was sent to Edmonton's Royal Alexandra Hospital, where he is currently in stable condition. Both men are from Pigeon Lake. Alright, and that was basically, the point. Alright, and then here's another, same thing, but different perspective, same article. Alberta Aboriginal leader says police shooting of 2 men may be racially motivated. Not maybe, it was racially motivated, man. Alright? It says, an Alberta Aboriginal leader wants an agency that investigates police shootings to determine whether racism was a factor in a weekend traffic stop that ended with 2 men being shot. Muriel Stanley Venn, who is chair of the Aboriginal Commission on Human Rights and Justice, says the incident may be another reminder of the discrimination against Aboriginal people by the justice system. Lance Cotarm, who was 30, died while his brother Laren Cotarm, who was 41, suffered chest wounds after the vehicle they were riding in was stopped Saturday by Mountie at Pigeon Lake, southwest of Edmonton. Their father, Larry Cotarm, says he was driving his 3 sons and his brother to a home after stopping to buy liquor when they were stopped. He says he was placed in handcuffs as soon as he got out of his truck, and the others in the vehicle tried to prevent the officer from beating him when the shooting happened. Alright, so there's more shit happened. Alright. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team is investigating. Bunch of devils, man. The Aboriginal Commission on Human Rights and Justice is gravely concerned after an incident that began as an impaired driving investigation ended with the shooting by an RCMP officer, leaving one Aboriginal man dead and another wounded. Stanley Venn said in a news release Tuesday. It says this incident may be another, so there are more. Okay, there's more that you don't hear, man. This incident may be another reminder that Aboriginal people are often the targets for police brutality, which is a reflection of the racism that exists within society and manifests itself at different times within the RCMP. Okay, and that was basically it on that. I'm going to hit up this scripture here, Psalms 55 and 1. Alright, you guys got to wake the hell up, man. The white man, he's not going to be with you. He's not going to ride along with you like that idiot that came up to the camp. And he's getting fucked up, man. That dude's getting messed up. He got messed up twice. The cops want to kill him. Toronto police. He came up to the camp. He knows the truth. And he rejected the truth. So Mosai messed you up. Mosai made the cops, bash you in the head with a baton, man. Put you on the floor. Told you you're a piece of shit. We're going to kill you. You know? Mosai's going to show you tribes, all you tribes, man, who your enemy is, man. Because you have enemies. Okay? You got this bullshit talking about the Iroquois Confederacy. You fucking Mohawk, Seneca, Onondaga. Talking about there's one river and the white man is in one boat and the Indians are in another boat. And we can go down the same river. No, you can't, man. Okay, the white man is not... First of all, the white man fucking polluted that river. Okay? The white man fucked up your whole land. He stole your heritage. He's fucking killed you and raped your people, man. What the hell's wrong with you Gadites, man? You're gonna get a fucking baton up your ass soon, man. Yeah, the Most High's gonna show you who your fucking enemies are, man. You know? This is Psalms 55 and 1. Give ear to my prayer, O power, and hide not thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me, and hear me. I mourn in my complaint, and make a noise. That's what we're doing, man. We're mourning, we're making a complaint, man. Okay? You fucking idiots, you're making a complaint to 11 Division. 55 Division. Alright, Stephen Harper. Alright? Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me, man. Okay, these fucking crackers hate you, man. And you're gonna realize that real soon, man. Do you think, man, this is nothing? The white man's gonna roll into all you tribes, man. You dumbass Benjamites in Toronto, dumbass Latin tribes in Toronto. Most side, he's gonna show you who your enemy is, man. Alright? My heart is sore pain within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me, man. And that's you tribes. You live in horror every day. Oh, is a fuck cop's gonna pull me over? He's gonna fucking shoot me. You know? I gotta go to court and do all this shit. Hey, man, you tribes live in fear, man. And that's the curses. But you still some way every day you get through and you say, oh, I'm blessed. Man, you ain't blessed. You're cursed, man. You're cursed from, Deuteronomy 28, all those curses, man. You're cursed. You're a cursed people, man. All right? It says, and I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I flee away and be at rest. Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness. Salah. You just get away. Hey, these guys from Winnipeg, they made a song called "Fly Away." So you just want to get the hell out, man. But the elect, man, we're constantly meditating on the kingdom, man. We're trying to get the hell up out of here. That's why we're pushing this truth, man. All right, and we don't give a damn who gets offended, man. To hell with you scoffers, man. So that was the first part. Lord's will, you brothers got edified. And I'm gonna go into the next part about the plagues and the pestilence, Lord's will. But yeah, man, yeah, you fucking scoffers out there, that's your job, and we're doing our job. So at the end of the day, we're two sides of the same coin, but we're gonna prevail, man. Lord's will. We're the elect, but the truth is gonna prevail, man. All right, so we're bringing out the truth. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, for letting me bring this out. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, whom I learned the truth from. And shalom to the elect, pushing the truth. You brothers are doing beautiful work, man. The sincere brothers, man, not the Donnie Brascos, all right, the insiders, the inside agents. whether you be an agent for Esau or whether you be a crept unaware agent for Satan. You know. So with that.